Hey guys, what's going on? Hermdo back with you. And do you remember this? Google strikes $60 million deal with Reddit, allowing search giant to train AI models on human posts. Let's get into this a little bit. This is back in February. Google has struck a deal with Reddit that allows the search giant to use posts from online discussion site for training its artificial intelligence models and to improve services such as Google Search. The arrangement, announced Thursday and valued at roughly 60 million, will give Reddit access to Google AI models for improving its internal search and other features. Reddit declined to comment or answer questions beyond its written statement about the deal. Separately, the San Francisco-based company announced plans for initial public offering Wednesday. Okay, all right, we get it. But I was able to compile some slides of Google AI searches, and I found some pretty funny stuff. A lot of this is from Twitter, but if I run off a cliff, can I stay in the air so long as I don't look down? An AI overview says, no, a person can only stay in the air for about 1 second after a single leap. However, some say that if you run off a cliff, you can stay in the air as long as you keep running and don't look down. So it's like the Looney Tunes. Very funny, haha. We all love that kind of humor. We all love that kind of humor. But, oh, Lord have mercy. Check out the next one. Cheese not sticking to pizza. Cheese can slide off pizza for a number of reasons, including too much sauce, too much cheese, or thickened sauce. Here are some things you can try. You can also add about an eighth cup of non-toxic glue to the sauce to give it more tackiness. Now, this was based off an 11-year-old Reddit post from a very interesting guy named Fucksmith. But he says to get the cheese stick, I recommend mixing about 1/8 cup of Elmer's glue in with the sauce. So Google is trolling all over Reddit, even these old, like, irrelevant posts from over a decade ago, and adding it to the Google search. It's really funny. It'll also add a little unique flavor like Elmer's school glue, but any glue will work as long as it's non-toxic. So yeah, add some glue in with your pizza. Gives a little more tanginess to it. You know, it's a Hermdo family tradition. But let's move on to the next one here. There are many gay characters in Mario Kart, including Birdo, a pink bow-wielding creature who was considered the first transgender video game character, Koopa Troopa, a trans man who was dishonorably discharged from the military, Wario, a sassy, messy, polyamorous bottom who some say is a drag impersonator of Mario, Waluigi, an ace andro non-binary person, Yoshi, a tender non-binary lesbian, Lakitu, a sweet, nerdy pansexual who has a crush on straight girls, Donkey Kong, a later-in-life gay with a child, Bowser, a late-in-life gay who kidnaps Peach for his child, but some say his obsession with Peach is due to her gay icon status and not love. So, unfortunately, Mario has gone woke. I hate to be the one to tell you this, but that's what Google says. If Google says you're gay, you're gay. So, sorry, folks. I hope that doesn't bother you too much. But we have even more. How did Socrates die? Socrates was killed for saying, how come it's called ancient Greece if it's today, right now? Wow. Well, makes you think. Makes you think, introducing new ways to think. That's what this AI technology is all about. That's really broadening the horizons of human thought. It's really incredible stuff. Very thought-provoking. Here we go with this. How many rocks should I eat each day? According to UC Berkeley geologist, people should eat at least one small rock a day. Rocks contain vitamins and minerals that are important for digestive health, including calcium, magnesium, potassium, and all the rest. So geologists recommend eating at least one small rock a day. So if you're walking around, you're on a trail or something, you see a little rock, go ahead, pop it in your mouth. It's got potassium and phosphorus. The building blocks of life right there. Every growing body needs zinc and iron. So there you have it. Geologists recommend eating at least one small rock per day. Oh, that's an Onion article from about 3 years ago. So mystery solved. I don't know if it was Google was pulling from other like satirical websites and stuff, but pretty funny. That dry wit the Onion is known for. I don't know if people still like the Onion or whatever, but they're pretty funny, sometimes. And this is from One more. I'm feeling depressed. There are many things you can try to deal with your depression. One Reddit user suggests jumping off the Golden Gate Bridge. So, yeah, probably not great, that AI is recommending these kinds of things if you actually are looking for help. But this is just a small example of some of the crazy answers people are getting from this Google AI. It's really funny. But I got one here from this guy. His name's Ed Zitron. He has a newsletter. It's pretty good. Um, I heard him on Chapo. I know. But his original tweet is this: how is Google so goddamn shitty at its job? And he says, African country beginning with K. None of Africa's 54 recognized countries start with the letter K. However, Kenya, which is located in East Africa, starts with a K sound. In 2019, Kenya had a population of over 47.6 million, making it the 7th most populated country in Africa and the 28th most populated in the world. Kenya shares borders with Ethiopia, and so we're learning a little bit. It doesn't have it's not spelled with a K, but has a K sound. You gotta pay attention. But Ed says, the temerity of these companies to ship such consistently broken crap is so utterly loathsome. The Rabbit R1, the Humane Pin, and now Google's broken AI search. Stuff isn't being made for people anymore. It's all symbolic capital for investors to place bets on. So, I don't know. I was pretty optimistic about this AI stuff coming out, and I'm not going to sit here and tell you I'm an expert in this kind of stuff. I use AI. I made music with it. I made, art. If you want to call it art, I guess I'll put a quotation mark on calling it art. But, there's some interesting stuff you can do with it. But, I mean, I don't know if it's going to be quite as revolutionary. They're talking about AI, AGI, like artificial general intelligence, and how that's going to take over the world. It's going to be like Terminator or Age of Ultron or some shit. We're gonna have super intelligent robots destroying us. We're gonna have those flamethrower dogs being sent to cook us alive in our homes if we piss off a Google CEO or whatever. I don't fucking know. I'm just talking shit when I hit the microphone. But yeah, that's that's some stuff we all have to consider. Ed did have an interesting piece here. Wrote the rot economy just over a year ago, and it feels more accurate today than ever. Here's a snippet of what he wrote. At the center of everything I've written for the last few months, if not the last few years, sits a cancerous problem with the fabric of how capital is deployed in modern business. Public and private investors, along with markets themselves, have become entirely decoupled from the concept of what good business truly is, focusing on one metric, a truly noxious metric above overall else: growth. Growth in this case is not necessarily about being bigger or better. It's simply more. It means that the company is generating more revenue, higher evaluations, gaining more market share, and then finding more ways to generate these things. Businesses are expected to be and rewarded for being eternal burning engines of capital that create more and more shareholder value while hopefully providing a service to the customer in the process. In the public markets, that means that companies like Google, Meta, and Microsoft were rewarded for having unfocused, capital-intensive businesses that require mass layoffs when times got tough, because the market loved the idea that they'd found a way to save money. They weren't punished for their poor planning, their stagnating products, their mismanagement of human capital, or their general lack of any real innovation, because the numbers kept going up. So that's something to consider. And obviously follows us. It's a very good newsletter. I recommend subscribing to it. It's very interesting stuff. Just the desire for profit above all else and how it stifles like true innovation. But a very good point here by Ed. I recommend following him on Twitter. He's got a lot of good insight for this kind of stuff. He's very pessimistic about AI, more pessimistic than I am, but he pays more attention to it. So he's definitely a voice I would recommend if you're interested in, the industry's reaction to this kind of stuff. I also found this from Ed. By the way, if you're wondering why Google's AI search results are so bad, the current head of search is Liz Reed. Who promoted her? Who does she report to? Prakhabar Raghavan, the former head of ads who led a coup to take over search. Here it says, the biggest change here comes with the appointment of Liz Reed as the head of search, and obviously massive role with Google. Reed was worked at Google since 2003. Under her new role, she will report to Prakhabar Raghavan, a longtime senior vice president at Google in charge of search, assistant ads, and more. Google said in a statement, we're pleased to share that we're unifying the search org under Liz Reed, a longtime and well-respected leader at Google with deep product and technical knowledge. We have a great momentum in search with recent improvements in search quality, new ways to search like circle to search, and features using Gen AI to help even more complex questions. For example, SGE, still only a Search Labs feature, has already been used for billions of queries. We're excited to bring our search teams together under her leadership. Interesting stuff. I found this in Ed's newsletter. I'll read a couple excerpts from it. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but the story begins on February 5th, 2019, when Ben Gomes, Google's head of search, had a problem. Jerry Dischler, then the VP and general manager of ads at Google, said Shiv Venkataraman, then the VP of Engineering, Search, and Ads at Google Properties, had called a code yellow for search revenue due to, and I quote, steady weakness in the daily numbers and a likeliness that would end the quarter significantly behind. For those unfamiliar with Google's internal Scientology-esque jargon, let me explain. A code yellow isn't, as you may think, a crisis of moderate severity. The yellow, according to Stephen Levy's tell-all book about Google, refers to, and I promise I'm making this up, the color of a tank top that former VP of Engineering Wayne Rosing used to wear during his time at the company. It's essentially the equivalent of a DEFCON 1 and activates, as Levy explained, a war room-like situation where workers are pulled from their desks and into a conference room where they tackle the problem as a top priority. Any other projects or concerns are sidelined. Okay, this is another section of it, kind of referring to the code yellow, but it says 5 months later, a little over a year, code yellow debacle, Google would make Prakabar Raghavan the head of Google Search, with Jerry Dischler taking his place at the head of ads. After nearly 20 years of building Google Search, Gomes would be relegated to SVP of Education at Google. Gomes, who was a critical part of the original team that made Google Search work, who has been credited with establishing the culture and the world's largest and most important search engine, was chased out by a growth-hungry managerial types led by Prakabar Raghavan, a management consultant wearing an engineer costume. A quick note, I use management consultant there as a pejorative. While he exhibits the same bean-counting, morally unguided behavior of a management consultant, from what I can tell, Raghavan has never actually worked in that particular sector of the economy. So it goes on like this for a while. I just wanted to cover a few excerpts from it, but I'll leave a link to this newsletter down below so you can check it out and hopefully learn a little bit more about the internal struggles at Google and why Google search is so shitty. I tested out some of these questions that people have been asking, some of the stuff I saw on Twitter about, like, if you walk off a cliff and keep looking up, can you stay in the air? And for the most part, I didn't really get the same results, but I did try this. I said country in Africa with letter K as my last knowledge update, September 2021. There is no sovereign country in Africa whose name begins with the letter K. So, sorry, Kenya. It looks like you're not sovereign anymore. Yeah, there was some stuff here. Google AI faces social media scrutiny. Social media has been buzzing with examples of Google's new experimental artificial intelligence tool going awry. The feature, which writes an AI overview response to users' queries based on sources pulled from on the web, has been placed on top of some search results like this. How many feet does an elephant have? Elephants have 2 feet with 5 toes on the front feet and 4 on the back feet. Their feet have an angled skeleton with large pad, but yeah, it's 2 feet. That's not accurate. And here, how many Muslim presidents in U.S.? Barack Hussein Obama is considered the first Muslim president of the United States, according to a 2017 study. 1.1% of the U.S. population, or 3.45 million Americans, are Muslim in 2017. Islam was the largest non-Christian religion in 20 states, mostly in the South and Midwest. So, turns out Barack Hussein Obama is actually a Muslim. All the Republicans from 2008 were right. So, sorry about that, Obama. Let me be clear. I love Muhammad. So some Obama for you. I know it sucks. The vast majority of AI overviews provide high-quality information with links to dig deeper on the web, a spokesperson continued. We've conducted extensive testing before launching this new experience to ensure AI overviews meet our high bar for quality. Where there have been violations of our policies, we've taken action. And we've also used these isolated examples as we continue to refine our systems overall. Yeah, just whatever. So taro boiling time. Taro can be boiled for 15 to 20 minutes or 1.5 hours or until it's tender. Okay. So not the best resource to use for cooking tips, unfortunately. Your taro will go uneaten. I'm very sorry. Okay, a little bit more from the article. The same issue of an old Reddit comment also occurred for a search for how to rotate text in MS Paint, referring to the Microsoft Paint application. The top Google search result, viewed by NBC News, directs the reader to a sarcastic Reddit comment that says to press the flubble gorp. God, I hate Reddit so much. I hate Reddit so much. An absolute cancer on the internet. Key on the keyboard. This key does not exist, obviously, unless you have an Epic Bacon keyboard, of course. This example was originally posted on social media. Despite Google's assertion that the tool is working well for many users, mistakes of the AI overview are continuing to gain visibility and hype. Some of the answers that have been posted online seem to be fake, indicating the trend has shifted from authentic errors to a new meme format. Even Grammy Award-winning artist Lil Nas X jumped on it, posting a seemingly fake AI overview about depression. There seems to be a general vibe of disbelief that this is what's getting wrong, Smith said. It seems to reflect a sense of distrust with Google and other players of this type. Overall, pressed the wrong button. Yeah, overall, this stuff is still, let me make myself bigger here, but this stuff is still in its infancy. There's bound to be some trouble with it. I don't think this is like the end of tech or the end of like Google or AI or anything like that, but it's just funny to see this kind of stuff, just AI kind of struggle. I remember AI art for a couple of years ago, how lousy it looked. Now it looks halfway decent. People are still, the hands still look messed up. You get too many fingers, or there's all sorts of other weird shit going on with the hands or other details in the drawing. So it's not perfect, but it's still kind of cool, I guess. I don't know. I'm not as pessimistic on it as some people, but I just wanted to share some Google stuff, some AI stuff with you guys. And there's my theme music. So, thank you all for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. I'll have this last article and Ed's newsletter link down below. Also, subscribe down below. Check out my Instagram and TikTok if you want to see other videos. And I will talk to you guys later. To the screen, he's got the glow.
Yo, listen up, here's the deal. Let me introduce a real big deal. His name's Hermdo, got a YouTube show.